Thank you. Well, I'm kind of proud to say that we did so many of our own stunts on this one, even though it was really incredibly exhausting and brutal at times. But I think we all felt that the martial arts sequences often was crucial to the development of the characters, or the development of the relationships of the characters. So, like you saw the sort of frenzied love dance-esque thing. And, you know, it was so important for our characters. There's no one else that I'd want to have perform that but me, because it was important for their relationship. And the same for Lynn and the Colonel was, you know, it's their ultimate kind of face-off. And so I think I'm proud to say for both of us, for all of us, that we performed a lot of our own stunts. And I wish that I'd had some more dance background before, not even martial arts, because it was really so founded in a sort of balance and core strength like dance does. So that would be my one wish, I think, to have more of that training. But
well, and it does, you know, really look, as you say, balletic, and you know the style of martial arts, the style of swordplay that's there. Especially, I think, the character of Yang and how he, you know, he's a one-cut killer, right? He doesn't he doesn't fool around. Somebody's in quarters by the time he's done, and there's such a kind of an expressionistic quality to the action that he engages in. Was there? I mean, you have done action before, but was there anything particularly new or different about what you had to do this time?
기존에 제가 찍었던 영화들의 액션은 뭐 전쟁터 속에서의 액션, 아니면 그 갱스터들이 싸우는 액션 이런 것들이었는데 마셜 아트 같은 액션은 이번에 처음 했어요. 근데 일단 먼저 통역.
He wants me to translate this first. I've been in films before that had action in it, but it was like during a war scene or a gangster movie. But this was the first time I've done martial arts.
근데 다행히 저희에게 그 프리프로덕션 기간이 충분하게 주어져서 한 6개월 정도 집중적으로 연습을 했고 중간에 부상을 입어서 한 달 정도 그 쉬기도 했지만 어쨌든 그 양의 캐릭터에서 이게 굉장히 중요했기 때문에 아주 공을 들여서 열심히 했던 부분입니다.
Fortunately, we had a lot of time for the pre-production, and I was able to train for 6 months, and then I got an injury, so I had to take a break for a month. But because the martial arts was such a crucial part of Yang's character, I worked really, really hard.
You can tell. I want to go over to Jason now, because so much of obviously what appears on screen comes out of, you know, the marriage of technology and obviously human flesh. And Jason, as the effects supervisor, you know, what did it take to actually make this happen, and what was the most complicated stuff to do as far as the stunts and the wizardry on screen?
Well, the stunts were easy for me because I just watched these guys beat the heck out of each other every day. I think I can speak for all the creative department heads in that my first reaction upon reading the script was, you know, wow, this is an incredibly huge canvas with which to play. And we realized also, you know, that Yang's character doesn't have an incredible amount of dialogue, especially early in the film. And so we knew that, you know, the visual effects, the production design, the costume design, the music would be counted on to help push the story forward. While Yang, you know, tends to communicate a lot through his violence, we also use the visuals to help push the story along. So, you know, as we're making a skyscape, we don't just say, oh, hey, those clouds are kind of neat. We use that image to reflect Yang's mood, to foreshadow, to contain other storytelling devices. And so that, you know, was incredibly rewarding.
In fact, one of the things in conversations with Barrie and Michael that becomes evident is a lot of the pieces of the film, you know, subtly convey parts of the narrative, if you will. You know, everything from the colors being used to the music in the scenes. You know, what are some of the other things that kind of propel the story forward that you wouldn't see immediately simply if you were looking at, you know, at the green screens, if you will?
Well, if you want to really get into subtlety, the beginning of the film, I mean, first of all, the film is in the context of a storybook. Geoffrey's character narrates the story, so we said, okay, well, you know, if it's Geoffrey's character years later telling the story, you know, how does one's memories, you know, happen over the years, and things become more fantastical and imagination takes over, and, you know, it's always magic hour. And so we took that as a license to do a lot of neat things. And, you know, one of the things is that areas in the movie that Geoffrey's character doesn't literally see are pushed a little further. So, for example, we start in Asia, and we decided, okay, well, what would Asia look like to a man who grew up in the old American West? And one of the kind of really cool things that Woo Hyun Kim, our director of photography, did was Asia's lit very differently than the West. It's softer, the lighting is slightly different, but Yang, even when he's in the West, is always lit by that light. So if you really can pay attention that he's lit subtly differently than the West characters are lit, to remind you that he doesn't really fit in there.